Not gonna lie to you guys, today I was gonna move the silver sedan off the driveway and I was gonna move the KRX up so we can start tearing the engine apart. But my brother's parts showed up a day early, so we're actually going to be working on my brother's wagon and just kind of get that car done and out of the way, because once the KRX gets torn apart, it's going to be on the driveway for a little while, and that means no other car is going to be able to get worked on. So I actually came out here today to change one of my lines from my fuel system that we just did in the previous video. This line was way too tight for me, so I got rid of it, made a longer one, and replaced that to give me some slack, and also put a little P-clamp right there just so that this is not bouncing around. Since this car is going to be sitting for long terms, I'm robbing the gas out of it just so we can put it into the silver sedan, because I realized then, while the car was running yesterday, we don't have any gas in there. So I'm draining it out right now, and we're going to turn this car on to make sure all the fuel system is not leaking, and then we're going to move this over to bring my brother's wagon to the driveway. Just want to show you guys really quickly on the floor. My brother just parked the car here and it's already like starting a new puddle, and his oil pan is like slit. When I parked this car just now, it already started dripping. So today's goal is to solve this problem. Let's get the car jacked up. So it looks like we need to pop off the header. I'm hoping that these bolts right here, ouch, that's hot. I'm hoping that these bolts right here can come off easily, and it looks like we're gonna have to take off this bottom half to get to the oil pan. Granted, these 10mm bolts right here in between. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward task, I think. This was a repaired oil pan before. I remember my brother re-threaded it. By the way, if you guys remember, like a year or so ago, I took my brother's wagon apart and pretty much refreshed the entire engine, new transmission, new clutch, and this gasket looks pretty brand new, which explained why it literally just fell out when I took off that last bolt. Alrighty. Now typically my money saving ass would try to repair the actual unit first before buying a new one, but the other night I was scrolling Maxpeedingrods website and I found out that they have a new drop for a replacement oil pan for the RD1 CRV. This right here should be interchangeable between the B18A1 B1 LS engine and the B20s. You can probably use it on the other setup as well too, as long as you have the matching pickup tube. But we ended up getting a new one from Maxpeedingrod. Big shout out to them for coming on board and sending this to us to try it out. We most definitely need it. Let's go ahead and open up this package and compare it to the OEM unit. Oh wow. Oh wow. Which way is it? This way? This is pretty interesting. So it looks like it has the baffle right here on the inside, and the new one doesn't have the baffle in this corner where the oil pump would be sitting, which I don't think it'll be a big issue. It just kind of helps with slosh, but you know, my brother's not racing or thrashing the car to worry about oil sloshing up, right? I was going to compare the depth of the pan from this edge right here. I was going to put like a ruler and then measure down, but this pan is smushed on the bottom and there is no way I can compare it to be similar or not. So looks like we're just going to toss it on the way it is. I mean, all the curvatures look right. Literally, like there's a little slight bend right here. Same thing with the OEM pan, and I don't think we'll have an issue. I do notice that these little nipples, the little dimples, is a little more fatter than this one. But let's throw the oil pan gasket on real quick. Everything seems to line up. Looking good. Looking good. Who knew Maxpeedingrod has a bunch of useful stuff for your car? Maxpeedingrod traction bar, Maxpeedingrod oil pan, Maxpeedingrod steering rack. That thing works beautifully. My brother took this car to go get an alignment done and it finally drives straight. The steering, nice and tight as well too. My brother got me some SuperTech high mileage full synthetic 10W30. I would definitely run this myself. I'm putting all 5 quarts in here. Shouldn't be an issue at all. This is a B20-VTEC, so you gotta account the VTEC line, the oil sandwich adapter, and because the oil pickup tube was a little smushed in, overfilling the oil pan will ensure that, you know, the pickup tube is always going to pick up oil when the engine is running. In 2020, when I tracked my KRX with the K20 in it, I only had the amount of oil that the engine called for and not overfilling. And I tracked it like that, and I ended up spinning my bearings from all the sloshing. Yeah, it was a sad day. So in the previous video, when I was working on my brother's car, swapping out his messed up rack with the Maxpeedingrod unit, along with new tie rods and new ball joints, I told him that his rotors have a crazy lip on here. You can literally catch that. The pads have been changed out at one point in time. These are new, over 50% left on the pad itself. And I told him, I said, if you want this to last longer, change out your rotors. And this actually leads us to our next product we need to unbox and install. Big shout out to Maxpeedingrod once again. They have a new item drop on their website while I was scrolling it, and when I found the oil pan, I also found these drill slotted rotors. So we're going to be installing these, but before I do, I want to unbox it. I kind of want to talk about it really quickly and just kind of like clarify a little bit of things, because I know a lot of you guys were giving me crap about the CRV rotors spinning the wrong way, even though they're etched in driver's side and passenger side. Oh, look at that. Maxpeedingrod compatibility and installation advisory. Never seen the company send this out with a rotor kit before. Pretty cool. Look, it even comes with gloves. Dude, for the price of these rotors, not bad, Maxpeedingrod. Not bad. So I kind of want to talk about the slots on the rotor. And I know a lot of people were giving me crap about the CRV having the slots cut towards the brake pad. I've spoken to a lot of my track friends and they told me they're not too specific about which way it's supposed to go unless the company says otherwise, right? So I think the important thing is the vanes on the inside, these little fins on the inside. Sometimes they come straight, sometimes they come curved. And if they come curved, they do definitely have a direction. Now, if they come straight and the company says, you know, one's left, one's right, then obviously follow the company's, you know, recommendation. Oh, look at this. This one says R, which is the one that I'm holding in my hand right now. R, passenger side. So it looks like it's going to slice like the brake pad versus how I would have ran it, where the pad would be on this side and it's going to cut into the brake pad. You know what I mean? So I guess Maxpeedingrod says to run this one on the passenger side according to the sticker right there. Let me see the other one. Yeah, this one says L. L is driver's side. So in the case of the arguments with the CRV rotors, you guys would be correct on this set of rotors. For the CRV, it was literally driver's side and passenger side. Once again, big shout out to Maxpeedingrod for sending out these rotors. They do have them for a bunch of make and models. Be sure to click the link in the description below and find a set for your vehicle. I'm sure they have front and rears. I didn't look, but most definitely they have fronts for a lot of applications. Let's go and pop the old rotors off and install these new ones. Got the driver's side on. Let's go ahead. Got the driver's side rotor on. Let's go ahead and knock out the passenger side. I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't expect to work on my brother's car until the nightfall, but sometime that's just the way the cookie crumbles. It has a brand new Maxpeedingrod B20 oil pan, which I'm sure is interchangeable with the B18 A and B, and we also got the new Maxpeedingrod rotors installed. I'll be a little transparent though. I did install the driver's side, everything bolted back up, everything spun like it's supposed to, no issues, no bindage whatsoever. But when I got to the passenger side, I bolted everything up and noticed that when I was spinning the rotor, it was a little tight and it was making a screeching noise. So I took off the caliper from the bracket. I put a flashlight in between to see what was going on. I noticed that the shim on the brake pad was rubbing up on the rotor. So what I ended up doing was I took the shim off, I shaved it down with my Milwaukee belt sander, put it back in, and it spun freely, put everything back together, no more screeching. Put the car back on the ground, drove it around the block a couple of times, hit the brakes a couple of times to make sure it's functioning like it should, and it seems like it's working perfectly fine. Now, I know when you buy stuff brand new, you're not supposed to be modifying anything unless it's a hybrid setup, but it's supposed to work right out of the box. I took a bunch of pictures, and any flaw that I find with Maxpeedingrod's product, I always report back to my rep to let him know, hey, if you guys can fix this, that'd be freaking awesome. If you guys don't, you know what I'm saying? But I always try to report back and give reviews back to them, and also shed some light for you guys in case you guys are okay with a little bit of shim mod, because realistically for the price on the website and a little bit of shaving down, dude, you cannot beat it. You really cannot beat it. I mean, I would definitely buy it again, but for those who don't want to do it, buy with cautious or don't buy it at all. But I'm just letting you guys know, Maxpeedingrod came out with these new products, and I'm like literally the guinea pig. I asked for it and I tried it, and I'm okay with how everything turned out. Realistically, that's my opinion. But Want to give a big shout out to Maxpeedingrods for always helping us here with some of the builds here on the channel, especially my brother's car. It's not a race car, and a lot of the stuff that they have on the website seems to fit what we do with these cars. Like, you know, my brother's car, for an example, the B20 oil pan without that baffle inside of it. You know what? It works at the end of the day. I am going to wrap it up for the video right now. I hope you guys enjoy a limited progress update on my brother's wagon. That car, he is finally enjoying it after changing out the steering rack, and the car finally drives without vibration. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for the teardown of the KRX, because it is finally on the driveway, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Peace.